Hey folks, it's Amy. How are y'all? I am here. Hopefully this is, I don't know, I should have set up the stream to share somewhere. Oh, wait, here's a share button. Let's share it to my Facebook so everybody can see it. Share to a page I manage. Let's put the right page because, Bella Vita doesn't need to know where I'm at. Okay, so anyway, I'm here. My husband just told me I got noise today. Whoop, whoop. Last time I did a live on YouTube, it was quite comical. So anyway, I apparently have noise and I'm good. So if you're here, please leave me a comment. If you're watching a replay, please leave me a comment. If you are just coming in and you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that below. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to get those YouTube subscribers up. So anyway, today's technique is going to be all about metallics. I love metallics. I love shiny, shimmery, pretty, glittery things. They make me happy. And I am using one of last year's papers as my color palette choice for this. Today, I will show you the papers and I will show you how to do this. I'm not going to show you a card. I'm just showing you how to do the technique. And if you would like to do the technique, please do it and let me see what you got. I will be doing a card on this on Saturday. I will take the technique, take the things I've created today, and we will make a card with them on Saturday on my YouTube card that are my YouTube live on Saturday mornings. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and flip you back over. Like I said, if you're here watching a replay, please leave me a comment. Let me know you're here. If you are here and you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please leave a comment and also like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Then you'll get notified every time I come on live, because I'm no longer doing the lives on my Facebook. I'm doing those, I'm just posting them over there that they're there so that you can get to see them. And the techniques will go to my crew of hearts and not the actual stamping with a heart. I'm going to do both this month, and then we're going to kind of tailor it down some because I'm putting stuff everywhere and I'm driving myself crazy. But that's okay. I'm going to streamline it for y'all. So anyway, I'm going to flip you over to my Get Started so you can see this crazy cool technique. So let me take my ugly mug off. There we go. Now you're on my table and you get to see what I got going. You move my phone. Now remember, I said I was going to do one of the papers from last year's my color palette. So the papers from last year that I am in love with, I actually bought a couple extra when they were clearancing them because I love the paper. But I'm not one of those demonstrators that buys 50 million of them so I can do paper samples, because I want everyone to have some. Not buying 100 of them makes me, that much better. But the color palette for the Snowflake Splendor was Balmy Blue, Coastal Cabana, Highland Heather, Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy, Pacific Point, Pool Party, and Whisper White. So here's the colors. This is Night of Navy and Misty Moonlight probably. But isn't it pretty? And there we've got some more of the colors. I just loved this paper. It was gorgeous. And I may actually, here's the one with some of the purples in there. And some of those dark blues. I love this one. This is probably the palette I will use. A little purple, a little blue. I think it just looks fantastic. But these were the color palettes that made me choose my colors today. So, and this is the Pool Party. And this is Pool Party in that Coastal Cabana and some Pacific Point. But just, isn't it pretty paper? You can't get the paper anymore. This is all I have left. I actually have one packet that I'm selling because, I bought too much. And I'm a little person. I don't have that many customers and whatnot. So that's what I'm going to use my color palette. I have all those colors right here. Night of Navy, Misty Moonlight, Coastal Cabana. Well, we'll go all the blues. Balmy Blue, Coastal Cabana, Pool Party, and Highland Heather. You're going to need 1, 2, 3. It doesn't matter how many colors you use for this technique. You're going to need your heat tool, which whatever heat tool you have is fine. Aqua Painter or any other kind of painting tool that you use to get water on your piece. I have just 2 pieces to show you. I have mine at 2.5. This one's by 6, and this one's 5.5. But this is the brush metallic that is in the current catalog, and this is just your regular silver foil that you can get. I'm not sure if Stampin' Up's still selling the regular plain foil. I'd have to go look, but you can also get this from your hobby store. So I'm going to do one on both of these. This is one I did on the brush metallic earlier, but I used Misty Moonlight, Calypso Coral, and Bumblebee on this one. And if you take a look, it just kind of blended a little too much together. And I didn't think these colors looked that great. They're great in theory if you can keep them separated. But with this technique and so much water on it, it doesn't work very well. You will also need, which I already have it open, you will need clear embossing powder and your heat tool. So I'm going to go ahead, since we've seen what it looks like on this metallic, I'm going to do one on just the foil so we can see how that one looks. But we'll do both of them. And first thing you're going to do is just take your water on your tool, and actually I'm going to get some paper towels because it'll be so much easier to have some paper towels behind it. And I will roll these up so we've got a nice little spot to work on. Here we go. Just take your plane, make sure it's a clean brush, there's nothing in it, and you're going to actually squeeze your water out, and you're just going to wet this. I know it sounds really weird, but you're going to want to make sure you have a decent amount of water to get the water flowing for when you drop your color down. Now I'm going to do blues and probably a touch of purple. So I'm not going to do these. I might put a little of the Pacific Point, but not very much, and I will do that last. I'm not going to use Misty Moonlight. I didn't like how it looked. So I'm thinking Highland Heather and some Pool Party. I don't know. We might use all of them, but I'm not going to use very much of that. Let's start with the Balmy Blue. And you can put it wherever you want on your piece. Just drop a few. And I've got an extra there, so I'm just going to let it go. So that's some Balmy Blue. And I'm going to take a touch of Coastal Cabana. And I'm going to take a touch of some of that purple. That's a little too much purple. Because that purple is bold. And then if we need some lightening up and some more colors, we will. But I'm going to take and I'm going to add water to this. And you see I'm just going to kind of blend them out so that you get different shades of colors. But I'm just kind of, you really can do this however you want. You could just rub the whole thing, which is what I did over here on this one. I didn't like how it turned out. So I'm just kind of being methodical about what I'm doing and giving myself lots of water in these spots so that I can see where my colors are and where I need more color. And it's okay if you have a lot of water. It's not going to hurt anything. But this also lets me know where my colors are. See, oh, that Coastal Cabana is so pretty. Now I'm going to add some, I've got the Balmy Blue. Let's add some of this lighter Pool Party in here. Just to give it some lighter colors. And then once I have all of these kind of bled into each other, I know it sounds so crazy just to do this. And I'm just going to kind of take it and shift it. Oop. Shift it everywhere, but you don't have to do it this full. And I'm just shifting it so it gets everywhere that I want it to be bold and colorful. And remember, this is going to kind of dry up. And it's going to leave your colors. And I know some of it kind of blends in together. That's okay. Gives it that wavy look. Then you're going to take your heat tool. And we're just going to blow this out. You could actually do each color by itself. And see, this one's blending way too much. So I'm just going to kind of pour it off. And I'm going to turn off the heat. See, we've got a nice color of blue. I want some purple in there because it's just way, that's why I'm glad I had the paper towel underneath. I'll put some blue on here, or some purple. And I'm just going to put that on. Like I was saying, and I don't know if you heard me, is you could actually take these and literally just do one color at a time. So you get what you want. So now I'm just going to kind of bleed this purple in a little bit. And I'm going to let it be. So we've got some of the blues and the purples. Now I'm going to heat it up. Get that dry. And don't put it too close to your... If you do, you see how it's bleeding it and fanning it. Unless you want to change the direction of your colors. And you also don't want to overheat that foil, because if you overheat that foil, it can leave some strange looks. But notice how it's leaving the dots and popping out, kind of like our alcohol techniques with those alcohol markers. But I've not tried this with alcohol on your foil, which I think it would look kind of cool. And I'm really trying to get all this purple dried out. So that's all we're doing. We're just heating this up till it's nice and dry. Most of your color is stuck and your water is evaporated. So you can tell that when you're sitting here and you're blowing it and there's no more movement in your color. So I still have some movement over here. And you can fan it back in so it moves down and it will thin it out. Okay, I'm going to stop there and see how this looks. It's kind of cool with the purples and the blues. Or actually, it's a balmy blue and a coastal cabana. Now I'm going to move this wet piece of paper towel out of our way. Let me move this completely out of the way so we don't have it getting anything else nice and wet and nasty. And I'm going to bring back my clear embossing powder. And I'm going to strictly just pour straight to it over the whole thing. Now, I did get this from Mitsu Crafts. If you have not watched them before, they're out of... I don't remember where they're out of. But notice this only sticks to where your ink is. Kind of cool, huh? So, I'm going to go ahead and pour this back in here so I don't lose it somewhere. Let me take this little piece off. And I'm going to make sure it all goes back in here. And you do not want to use your embossing buddy first, because you want this to kind of stick everywhere. And you can put extra layers. So I'm going to go back over this because I want to make sure I've got this good and covered. There we go. Now I'm going to move this out of my way. Especially so I don't end up blowing embossing powder everywhere. And I'm going to heat this back up. I'm going to heat from the bottom. And it's really hard not to touch it. And wait till you see the effect. When it starts to work, here we go. It's kind of like that black ice technique that you get. It's really cool. And you could cut this out with a die cut. It makes it really nice and pretty. It's a great focal point on your card. But you see how it's changing? And how beautiful that looks? And it only sticks to your color. And once you've got it all embossed and you're heated and you're good, then you can stop heating. Let me move this out of the way, and you see the look. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love how that looks. It looks so much better on the plain foil than it does that metallic brush, I think. I think it leaves so much more. We're going to try something. Next thing you're going to need to do is take a paper towel, a clean one at that, and you're literally just going to, as I dropped a whole bunch of stuff, you're going to rub this with a clean paper towel because there's still some ink on there. And you just want to rub that extra ink off so you don't have it all over the rest of your work. There we go. There you go. Isn't that cool? So I'm going to take the other one with the brush metallic like this, and I'm going to go put Stays on it and just see if it gives it a cracked image, because this has already kind of got lines to it. If you look at my other piece, it's kind of got lines on it already because it's that brush metallic. I'm going to try the same colors, and then I'm going to brush some Stays on over it and then do the black ice kind of look too and see how it looks. But isn't that just so beautiful? I think that's so cool, and I love it. I'm going to put this with some snowflakes from the Snowflake Wishes stamp set. And it's going to be so pretty. I might even use some of my retired paper. I don't know yet. We'll have to figure that one out when we see it come Saturday. So let's put that to the side. And let's do this again with some of the same colors. I'm going to get another sheet of paper towels. You will use a lot of paper towels. I have just 3 under here. 3 little half folds. And again, we're going to make sure our brush is clean, which I did. And we're going to just put in some water. And I'm going to start with the lighter colors first. I'm not going to do that whole dark thing again, because I think it kind of messed up. Some light color. This is Pool Party. And I'm literally just going to brush this whole thing in. Just brush it in. Just put those ink colors in there. And then I'm going to add... do a touch of Coastal Cabana. And I'm going to kind of brush that in. I'm going to add some water to it so it kind of gets it nice and fluid. And then I'm going to add just a touch of this Highland Heather. Whoop! Highland Heather is really fast on its outtake. It just comes out so fast when you go to let it go. So I'm going to take some of this up and put it over here with just the, there we go. Kind of spread it out a little bit so I don't have to use so much. But it gives it lots of different colors. Kind of bleed that off. And then I am going to put some of this blue in here, some of this balmy. And that's lots of colors, yes. Give me some of that balmy blue in here. And it's a mess, and but it is so beautiful. I love the colors, and I love the way they meld together so well. And now I'm just going to kind of let them bleed a little bit, just a little bit, not a ton, because I really like the way they distinguish themselves. And again, like we did before, we're going to go ahead and heat this up before it bleeds too much. And again, I'm keeping it far, far away so my ink stays. And you just got to play with it to see how you want it to be. And yes, it may curl on you, but that's okay. You can always put your finger down, keep it down. But I love how it bubbles on its own. I will probably experiment with just tiny pieces that I have left over of foil, so we can see how it works with some alcohol. Because alcohol is like the bomb to play with. Those alcohol inks are so much fun. And see, now not a lot of my ink is moving. So I've got a lot of it already situated where it's going to be. And oh, isn't that beautiful? Look at that. So as you can see, the technique is however you do it when you're coloring. It can be done so many different ways. Trying to get that to dry up right there for me. And the more water you have on it, the longer it takes to dry. But the results are so much better. Okay, I'm going to leave that one like that. And we're going to come back in with the embossing powder. Remember, you're going to use clear. And I can't put the stays on this yet. Even though you probably should do the stays on first. But it's still super wet, so you don't really want to do stays on right now. You probably would have had to have done that first. So that's something I'm going to probably have to play with for the black icing. And I'm just making sure I get it all covered really well. Put this back in here so we don't lose our... I have little bits and pieces of cardstock that have fallen in my embossing powder, so, you know, it's okay. It'll be all right. And I'm just going over this twice just to make sure I have it coated really well. You don't have to. I definitely suggest moving it out of your way before you heat again. So now we're going to heat again. Ah, there it goes. Whoop. All right. There we go. We've got the embossing powder all gone there. Look how shimmery that is. And again, I'm going to take another dry paper towel. And I'm going to run... Oops. Yep, okay, it's dry. Whew! At first I thought it wasn't dry and I was losing it all. But no, I'm not. It just looks like it. So there you go. This is on the brush metallic. And this is on your silver metallic. One is more purple. And one is kind of the brush. So there you go. There's your two different techniques. I think they're absolutely stunning. Just two different types of foil. You can use it on any kind of foil. Let me put my ugly mug back up. You can use it on any kind of foil. And it looks absolutely stunning. I can't wait to see what kind of cards we make with this. We have a few things that have come over and we can use with it. So, can't wait to see what I come up with on Saturday. I will see you all then Saturday. I hope you enjoyed this technique and let me know what you think. See y'all. Bye.